Now, is random nodes the best new way to play Satisfactory, or is it just a frustrating mess? And more importantly, who is this actually for? Because depending on how you play, this mode could refresh the entire game or completely ruin it. Let's break it down. Random nodes does exactly what it sounds like. It takes every resource node in the game and scrambles it. So everything you thought you knew about where to build, where to start, what's optimal, that just doesn't apply anymore. You can run to a normally perfect starting location and suddenly there's a uranium node there. And that one change completely shifts how you approach the game. Now, let's start with why this mode is actually really good. First, it brings back exploration. If you've played Satisfactory before or you've been playing for a while, you probably already know where everything is. You've got your routes, your starting spots, your go-to builds. Random nodes takes all of that away. You're back to scanning the landscape, searching for resources, figuring things out as you go. It genuinely feels a lot closer to your first playthrough again. Second, it forces you to get creative. Because of what I just mentioned, there's no perfect layout anymore. You're not building in ideal locations, you don't have perfectly spaced resources, you're dealing with whatever the game gives you. And that leads to factories that are a little bit messy, but also a lot more unique. You have to use your experience from the previous playthrough to try to come up with the best setup for the map that you're given. Third, it completely kills the meta. There's no best starting locations, there's no optimal routes, there's no memorized strategy that you can rely on. Every single world is different. And that means that you actually have to think again instead of just executing what you already know. And because of all of that, it massively increases replayability. Each run feels different, there's different layouts, different challenges, different solutions. So if you've ever felt like your playthroughs are starting to feel the same, this fixes that. But this is also where problems start to show up. Because random nodes isn't just different, it can be kind of frustrating. If you get unlucky, key resources can be way too far apart. And instead of interesting problem solving, it just turns into long conveyor lines, awkward setups, and a slower early game. It also makes scaling a lot harder. In a normal playthrough, you can plan ahead. You know where resources are and you can design your factories around that. Here, you just can't. What works early or what worked early for you before doesn't always scale well later, and you'll probably end up reworking parts of your factory or entire factories. And if you're someone who enjoys clean, perfectly optimized builds, you go into this game with a plan, this mode might actually drive you a little insane. Because it's not about perfection from the beginning anymore, it's about compromise. Things won't line up nicely, your layouts just won't feel ideal for a long time. And for some players, that's just not satisfying. And especially this is important for new players. It's honestly not the best starting experience. The base game has a natural structure. The developers place the nodes in specific locations for a reason. Random nodes removes that natural progression. So instead of learning the game step by step, area by area like you're supposed to, how the game was originally intended, you're dealing with unpredictability. Along with the mechanics of the game, this can get overwhelming pretty fast. So it's important to recognize that this mode is best for returning players who feel like they've already kind of figured out Satisfactory. If you enjoy problem solving, adapting, making things work instead of just making them perfect and planning everything from the start, you'll probably absolutely love this. But if you're brand new or you really enjoy structured, optimized building, you may be better off sticking to the normal experience, at least at first. So the bottom line is random nodes changes the mindset. If you want control, efficiency, clean design, then the base game is probably a little bit better. But if you want the game to feel fresh again, you're okay with a little bit of chaos, you're okay with some creativity, this is absolutely worth trying. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. This has been Tiny Tao. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.